Coach Cornelius Jackson. Corny Jackson, 3 years on the floor as the Marshall point guard, 8 years as an assistant coach to Coach D'Antoni. Now, year one as the head coach at Marshall University, your alma mater. Sure, as the season approaches, the men's team plays UPike at 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon, season opener against Davis and Elkins, Monday, November the 4th. And I guess even for a veteran, your heart's probably pumping pretty well, doing it for the first time as a head coach.
Yes, Steve. First of all, it's an honor to be the head coach of my alma mater. We're fired up. The guys have been really working hard, doing everything that we're asking, and we've been pushing them pretty hard, and they've been responding pretty well. So we're excited for Sunday.
Questions for Coach Jackson?
Coach Corny Jackson, you remember you got to sit in the right seat. You have to move down a little bit. But what are you most excited about being the head coach and taking over your program? What's just got you really fired up?
Well, Keith, we focus on the process. All right, so since taking over, it's kind of been, they say when you're the head coach, it's your process. So we're more focused on that, and it'll be interesting to see because the guys, like I said, they've been working tremendously hard at the things we're asking them to do. So it's going to be fun to kind of watch it unfold for the first time against another opponent.
Cornelius, when you wake up every morning, I know you're always fired up to get here, but when you wake up each day, just how fired up are you to get down here to the Henderson Center and get to work since you were named the head coach? What's that been like?
It's funny. It's funny you asked that question. I talked with the team 2 days ago, and I just reminded them how blessed we were. So every day I wake up and every day I walk into my office, I realize how blessed I am to be the head coach here at Marshall. It's something that dear to my heart and something I don't take for granted.
Coach, now that you're taking this team over, it's your team. Has there been a moment in practice or just being with the team where it's starting to click that, okay, this is my team now, and they're starting to do the things to maybe take your form, your shape, your identity?
Yeah, the term "my team" is kind of cliche, right? I don't really look at it like that. I look at it as our team. Nate, Mike Dawson, and Obina, and I can keep going on and on and on. So I don't really like the term "my team." I think it's our team. I think it's Marshall's team. I think it's Huntington's team. And again, we're just so excited. They passed me the keys to kind of lead the charge, and I'm excited about that every day. But again, it's our team. It's not Corny Jackson's team.
Has anything surprised you? I know you're a veteran here, been here 8 years, but has anything popped up and surprised you being the head coach or out of the players?
Surprise out of the players?
Has any player stepped up and surprised you, like, oh, this guy's better than I thought, or anything like that?
Well, we believe. I mean, all 16 of our guys have been working really hard. We believe in all of them. Nate Martin has stood out, the most to me, and just watching his process and the work he's put in since he's been here, and how he so much offensively he's developed his game, and he's making threes now. I want to say in practice he's probably Nate, 5 for 10. And that's something that's different, something that's unique for him because he's never taken a three until he got here, and he still hadn't taken one in the game. So maybe he'll take one Sunday and surprise a lot of people.
The transition from assistant to head coach, what's been the biggest challenge, maybe or change, something you didn't expect, something that maybe jumped out that surprised you now as a head coach?
I think the biggest change has been the time. It's a little bit more time demanding than as assistant. As assistant, you're pretty much worrying about recruiting, and then you're worried about scouting reports, obviously, when the season starts. But, since taking over as a head coach, now it's recruiting, it's meeting, it's yesterday we were out passing out season tickets. We left the season tickets, and then we were at the student union, just passing out folders, just trying to get some student engagement. So mainly just the time commitment that it takes to being a head coach is probably the biggest adjustment for me.
Speaking of recruiting, how do the newcomers look, and how are they blending in with the returnees?
They look pretty good. It was a priority for us to not only add good basketball players but good young men to our locker room that represent Marshall, obviously in a first class manner. and those guys have been doing that a great job of that since they've been here.
So the fans come out to see you on Sunday. What should they expect to see? What's the takeaway you want them to walk away from after the first game?
I want them to realize that it's a team that's going to come out and play hard every single time we step on the floor, play for one another, have fun doing it, and represent this university in a first-class manner.
Spent a lot of time on the staffs with Coach Moore, Coach D'Antoni. What'd you take away from being an assistant under those guys?
You know, each stop was different. I got my start from with Coach Poore at West Virginia State. I spent 6 years with him. Then I went to UT Martin and was with Jason James and then Gary Waters. A lot of you guys has been around here for a while. You remember that name. He was at Kent State back when I was a player here. Then here at Marshall under Coach D'Antoni. Learned something different at each spot. Coach Waters was a defensive guy. So, you know, he kind of spent a lot of time on defense. Jason James kind of gave me the freedom to come in. We were around the same age. He was a younger head coach, so he gave me the freedom to do a lot of things. Coach Poore, we had a previous relationship, obviously from here, and Coach and I kind of thought alike on how we wanted things to look at West Virginia State in terms of being aggressive and playing hard and being athletic. But learned a lot from Coach, and then obviously came here. After Coach Waters came here with Coach D'Antoni and learned a lot from him. You know, he gave me the freedom to expand and grow as a head coach, and for that I'm always indebted to him.
With the situation where you have been on staff, so being a head coach is a new part, but a benefit I would assume that you knew the guys, most of the guys already, recruited the newcomers, that kind of thing. The West Virginia aspect of this, you brought back a Huntington guy we're going to hear from in a little bit. You have a staff of West Virginia. Coach D'Antoni was really big into that. What's your perspective on that, and how much the state and having West Virginia roots means to you?
It means a lot, Steve. You know, my focus is again to bring the best talent possible, to here to Marshall University to represent this program in a high regard, high manner, and we look amongst the state first, you know, before we look anywhere else, you know. And I think the state has some talented people. Obviously, Mike Dawson. You talk about the Rob Forfords. We have Mark Klein on staff. We have Adam Williams, who was Player of the Year in the state of West Virginia, went to Kentucky, came back and played at Marshall. So, again, we want to look inward first before we start, you know, looking outward. But, you know, bringing talented people to the table, whether it's players, whether it's coaches, whether it's people on my staff or on our staff, is really important to me.
What now is in your mind as you transition, number one, from practicing, you guys are working with and against the same guys every day. Now you get to see something different with UPike on Sunday, and then ultimately the regular season starts a week around. What kind of things are you trying to transition, and will you learn from the team, seeing them go against stuff they might not necessarily be ready for like they are in practice?
Well, you know, we've been trying to throw different situations at them to try to prepare them for that. Again, our focus is the process. You know, we understand that Rome wasn't built in a day. So our focus right now is just being 1% better every day. Our jobs as coaches, me as the head coach, our assistant coaches, is to throw kind of different wrinkles at them and see how they respond. But, you know, playing against a different opponent that may bring a different aspect. At the end of the day, it's still basketball, but everybody plays a little different. So they'll bring a different aspect on Sunday. So it'll be interesting to see how well our guys respond to that.
All right, Coach Corny Jackson, thank you.
Thank you. Good.